Hey everybody, welcome back to the shop. It's been absolutely crazy around here lately, but I'm making progress. Here is the F-head Willys board honed 3-angle valve job, ready for final wash and assembly. I've been chipping away over at Mark's CJ5 block here. The block came in at a very worn out 20 over. Pistons were stuck. It took forever to get the pistons out, and there was quite a bit of cylinder damage. Come around this way. So I started, and I thought maybe I could clean up in 30 or 40, and I couldn't. We're just starting to break through right here. Right now I'm at 60 over, and it's still not clean all the way down. And we're breaking through. So Mark, if you're watching, I'm gonna have to sleeve your block. You got a good block, but because it sat and there was so much corrosion and damage in there getting the pistons out, it's gonna need to be sleeved. So not the greatest news, but you know, at this point, being we're breaking through already, there's not much else we can do. So we'll get you fixed up back to standard pistons. There is the F-head again, 3-angle valve job on that as well. And just over here I've got Mickey's wagon transmission transfer case and steering gear. FEDEX, as you can see, Mickey, ruined your rear yoke. This thing took a very hard drop. They broke an ear off of your transmission. See it right there? I'm going to get that welded back on for you. But if you're watching and you want to make a case with FEDEX, I saved all your packing material. They really messed that up. But no big deal. As you can see, it's sandblasted clean. I'll begin the tear down soon. Same thing on the steering gear. Okay guys, been doing a lot of sandblasting and painting lately. Here is the latest set of 16-inch CJ5 wheels. Got a good set of 5. And I think these are, I'm not sure what these are for. These are for a local guy with a car. I'm not sure. These came in and they're going to get a dark argent sandblasted and epoxy primed them. And I forget what they fit. Did a lot of stuff for a guy with a 28 Chevy, and then this guy, I get confused. Maybe a Dodge Dart. I'm not sure. Okay, now here we have Scott's Scrambler wheels. Can't get the sun on them real good, but I think you can see the difference. Now both of those paints are called white, but you can see Scott wanted this this particular color, and they came out beautiful. And I've got the white wagon wheels here. And I gotta get these inside and start mounting tires on those pretty soon. But it's a beautiful day, so I'm gonna get a little bit of epoxy priming and maybe some finish paint on these guys. So I'm gonna get busy with that now, and I'll be back in a little bit. Okay guys, got the wheels sprayed. And they came out nice. This is a gray epoxy, and had these other guys covered up. But these are going to be a dark argent, and I mixed up some argent. And I got in that cup just a little bit. I think you can see the color. So I mixed up the epoxy to a darker value shade. Every color has a value shade, from white to black. And I mixed up a dark value shade so that we would cover easily with our dark argent. I had to mix this argent. I couldn't get an off-the-shelf argent that I liked. And there is the dark argent. That's going to be a single stage urethane, and we'll get to painting these next. But while the 16-inch rims are drying, I'm going to go, and I think I got enough time, I'm going to put the 66 CJ5 together. I'm going to get the axles in there and the springs and the spring hangers and everything. While this is drying, and if there's enough time in the day, we'll get back on those argent color wheels. But I got some stuff moved around. We'll go back in the main shop and check out the 66. Okay guys, there's the axles. You remember me rebuilding for the 66. Springs, tie rod ends and stuff are there. There's the rear springs. Frame, still an epoxy primer. I'm not going to finish paint this till I get everything together. I had to move this around from the back, so it's a real bear handling the frames, so I want to get it rolling. And I'm going to put it on the lift next, get this guy together. I made a few modifications. I'm going to put greasable springs in there like on the early Jeeps. I had to change the spring hangers, so I used the early ones so I could use the greasable bolt back there. I made custom bushings for the springs out of some oil-lite bronze, some heavy-duty oil-lite bronze. And I think you can see them snuggled in there. And I have urethane bushings and some fishbone shackles, greasable, going on the front of this. And I got to get busy getting this one done because the scrambler frame is almost done, and then that one's coming in next, and I'll get that one rolling. So I got to keep things moving like an assembly line here, but we'll get this one together in a short while, and I'll show you the progress along the way. Okay guys, in between jumping around from engines to painting to chassis fabrication, we're just about done putting the axles in the 66. There's the rear. I've got some greasable shackles, urethane shackles there, and because I had to change the spring mounts because they were so bad on this Jeep, I put the early ones in so I could stick with the greasable bolt. This is a 9/16 diameter bolt on the early Jeeps, and then when they went to the CJ5 with just a single bolt in there in a rubber bushing, it was just a small 7/16 diameter bolt. I don't really like that, so I put the early hangers on and put the early style bolt in there. We'll be able to, and I made I had to make custom bushings for the spring there out of bronze, like I told you. So they're in there, they're greasable, and then I like greasable shackles as well. And this is just something that I bought. I didn't make these. I usually make them, but we're just kind of cruising along pretty good on this one. So these are the fishbone shackles, urethane bushings. And when you grease urethane bushings, they do take a special grease. And we'll talk more about that, but don't just put regular chassis grease on a urethane bushing. It's just not going to do you any good. Let me come around the front here. Got our AVM hubs on there. I'm just starting to get going on the steering conversion. More on that in a future video. I have the same shackles in the front, and when you put a 30 into a early CJ5, you got to make a new spring plate, which I did. I fabricated the spring plate. I've got the U-bolts in there. Everything's tightened down. And like I say, the steering is going in. Once I get the tires for this, and they should be here any day now, I just want to have this rolling. It's just easier for me to handle when they're rolling. So we'll get this off the lift, and we should have Scott's frame finished shortly. There are his stack of tires. I just brought them in with the tractor. BF Goodrich Mud Terrains 3210s, and I'll get those mounted. They'll be ready for when the chassis is done. His axles are done, and he'll be the next one in here. So just gonna leave this on a lift till the tires come, hopefully today. Get the tires mounted for this guy, roll it out, and keep moving on. So that's about all I have for you today. I will do more on that steering, more coming on the scrambler, and lots of engines going on. So I'll be back with you shortly. But thanks for watching on this one, and more videos coming soon.